All right, and we're doing again, this is the DLC Ashes of Elrant, any percent run from a pre-made file. Gonna adjust our settings first, which affects the difficulty. And we'll go to the DLC. We're gonna start without a save file, which is gonna give us the pre-made file. And then time is gonna start when I choose, would you like to read a recap? No. And we're going to go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. And we are immediately into a combat, but I don't really have anything optimized yet, so we'll just kind of slog through it. Turn up my combat speed right away. Get our best damage dealers in. And just try to finish this off as quickly as possible. That was very efficient. Good job, team. All right, now we're going to do our big menu. We're going to start by getting everybody's gear sorted out here. Gonna get Robb set up as our main damage dealer here. And then the other characters are basically going to be in support, although we also are going to have Bathraz, who is in a pretty major secondary DPS role. All right, and now I'm getting all my abilities in order here. Trying to do this menu a little more optimally now. Okay. I need to double check on that, but in the meantime, we're still gonna pretend that that is better. This game has a lot of skippable cutscenes, so I'll be skipping a lot of those. Some of the cutscenes that lead into battles you can't skip, though, so that's fine. We'll just mash. There's only a couple that are fairly long, I would say. Also going to be swapping characters so that I can use a multitude of abilities. Normally, I'm going to be swapping into Eggle because we want to apply different elemental debuffs. And then Robb has water attack natively, and we should be able to get him earth attack relatively soon too. Once he has those, a lot of my fights are going to look like basically using both of those elemental debuffs and then using either a single target or an AoE attack to just kind of take everything out. This is a little unfortunate because I ended up in the yellow portion of the overdrive meter here, which is going to slow things down a little bit, but just a little bit. I tried. It was a very long attack, unfortunately. Try to just finish him off with the rest of the team. Alright, now we're going to get just a little bit of time in our sky armors. This is basically the game making sure I still understand how they work, because the sky armors do have kind of like some well, like environmental puzzles that go with them, so... Here we're running north. We're going to kind of confront the first bad boss of the run, which is Gusan, who has a head full of jelly. We'll be doing a kind of like, we'll call it a backup strat with Bathraz here. Oh, Robb got blinded. That's actually very bad. Gonna heal that and just try again basically next turn, but we'll kind of just lean on Bathraz here to get us through this fight. Yeah, that's fine. I may have wanted to wait one more turn on this, but maybe I'll get lucky. I did get lucky. All right, that was a good fight. Also, the menu was really good earlier on, so I think the good menu is also a lot of that split being a rainbow split there, so... this is probably the longest unskippable cutscene in the run, because we're getting sucked into the void. Oh, he spilled his jelly. Won't do any spoilers, but we are getting sucked into Elrant, which is the where the name of the DLC comes from. I like how Eggle's like flapping his little wings right there. All right, so at the moment the party is split. Just gonna do a quick little swap there, and then there's also a free attack up crystal here that I'm gonna grab. And then I'm really hoping that these Chaicock enemies, yes, that is their name, drop an earth attack crystal for Robb. It's pretty common, and I'm gonna fight like 10 of these. So, yep, I already got one. Good. So at this point, I can actually just go ahead and upgrade Robb here. We're going to put the attack up crystal. This menu's weird. We're going to put those two on him. And Robb is now set for the rest of the run. Right now, he's not going to be able to do much with that earth attack, but as soon as I get Bathraz back in the party, Bathraz will be able to help out. Apply that other elemental debuff, and then those numbers will get even bigger. I get multiples, I actually don't want to put a second one on, because I always want Robb to be the one who's dealing that massive amount of earth damage. All right, now we're going to use Lens Party. If I do good movement, I do not have to do any fights in this scenario. But this one seems very finicky lately. There we go. That one, not so bad. Alright, now we got another fight, and this time I can do the double here. And before I was doing like 5,000-ish damage, now I'm doing like 8,000 damage, so quite good. All right, I do want to learn my first talent here, first two talents here, actually. This fight is required. I for some reason my brain always wants to skip it, but it is required. Alright, I need to come up here and break this dam. There's a monster down there that you can't fight without sky armor, or you will have a bad time. So it kind of washes that enemy away. This is another one that you have to do. I don't know why my brain wanted to skip it, but here we are. Alright, and nope, I did that wrong. Second path up. Actually, I have to run to this. Jelly Ball. There's two of these. They're important to the story. I won't say more than that. That was good. I don't know why I went and got that. I don't need to. I do need that. Alright, and now we're going to fight the Snallygasters. We're going to open up with Glenn's, basically an AoE all break. And then Robb should have enough damage to finish these two off simultaneously, as long as I get the... I don't get unlucky with my like abilities. Cursed, I don't know what that does. That's going to be interesting. That didn't hit him anyway. He's fine. Eggle was cursed. That's not good. Poor Eggle. All right, there's the Snallygasters. All right, and now we're going to do a whole bunch of cutscenes. This is where we actually go to Elrant, the city. But first we have a flashback. This is one of my characters. I won't say which one. We're also getting introduced to the new character of the DLC, but first we're in dog jail. When you're in dog jail, you just sleep a lot. And then this is our new character. This is Leonar, who sounds like he should be a lion, but is actually a wolf. Leonar is really fun to play with casually. His systems do not interact well with the speedrun, so we will not be using him. We're just going to be in dog jail a little bit more here. I just like saying dog jail in case y'all haven't figured that out yet. Whoops. I want to learn tail sweep. And then I want to level up tail sweep. Okay, that should be more than enough juice for me to get through the one required fight that I have left with Leonar here. I probably should see if I can go the other way around that second fight. This is the required fight. We're just going to use tail sweep 3 times. It's the AoE here. Fortunately, I did not crit the one who had a turn there, so alright. Alright, thank you, Leonar. You have been most helpful. And back to dog jail. Alright, now we're in people jail. Not nearly as fun or cute as dog jail. But we get let out on good behavior, and we're going to go ahead and investigate the prison a little bit. There's some funky stuff happening in this prison. We're going to get to the bottom of it, and then we are going to make our escape. There's a bad boss down there called the Keymaster. We are not going to fight him until we take care of some of his lieutenants. We're going to start with this one. Basically, all of our abilities are locked right now is kind of like the lore that's happening. But this guy has been drinking on the job, and so as a result, he's taking a lot of poison damage. Liver damage. So you look at their helmets, that's going to unlock various, like, certain skills based on the color of their helmet. As we defeat these, the relevant skills or the related skills will unlock. We're going to skip this one because I don't need healing skills, and I can skip it, but we do need to do one more fight, because if I tried to take on the boss with only red skills, I would get my butt handed to me. But these two kind of come together, so we're gonna take them out as well. And I also have Bathraz's Ultra, which will help. Bathraz is a very good AoE Ultra. Power shot. Alright, so now I can buff. Oh, Sienna had a really good attack there. Sienna is very overpowered in certain fights like these. But on the whole, during the run, she just does not hold up, unfortunately, compared to Robb. And then Bathraz is going to be kind of like my other main damage dealer in the run. I gotta not run headlong into that guy. Alright, and now we are going to go fight the Keymaster. And I don't have all my abilities, but I definitely have enough abilities that I can do this fight pretty well. Lockdown basically locks my party in place, which is just fine in this situation because this is the 4 I want. Little unlucky that I got to overheat before that, but this will help with that. When you use an ultra move, it reduces your position on the overheat meter. All right, and that is the Keymaster. This is going to be a really good split because I was messing around with this fight in my PB. All right, so now we have escaped from dog and people jail. And we are going to move on to the next part of the story. Actually going to do the one shop of the run here. Whoops. Because we actually have money. This is the one skip in the run, coming up in just a few minutes. Not quite yet. I imagine them kind of like yelling a chess move when they do their big attacks here. That is not the way I want to go. My bad, I want to go this way. Still getting accustomed to wayfinding in this area. Bonk. They're weak to dark. I couldn't remember if it was light or dark. They look like they're dark and they should be weak to light, but it's the other way around. Alright, this is a really important screen. So with good movement, I can skip the boss that is on this screen at the end. I just have to reach his battle area before this dialogue runs out. There we go, and we're through. Very tight, but with good movement, you can get it every time. And I always want to go out there, but you actually go down and around. All right, and that is the end of that area. All right, now we are in Smooth Jazz Elrant City proper. And there's 2 NPCs we need to tag here. Then we'll be able to move on to the main quest again. I do think with good menuing, fast traveling there is probably slightly faster than running down again. I just have to maybe be ready to do that menu. It's probably very, very minor time save, but it could be actual time save. All right, and I wanted to tag that crystal before we head out of town. So basically there's two areas here, and we need to clear both of them. There's kind of like a exploration quest associated with each of them. So the first one in the Deadlands here, I like to do this one first because there is a sky armor upgrade. And the next two bosses are sky armor fights. But there's an item here that I need to get. And actually, I need to, if possible... Yeah, I want to learn Violent Charge. Gear Expert, okay. Violent Charge is free damage at the start of fights, and I'm getting to the point where I'm a little overmatched by the stuff that I'm fighting, so if it procs like it did there, that definitely makes a difference between whether the fight ends smoothly or if it goes to basically extra time. Enemies in this area are kind of very Shin Megami Tensei also, I would say. Alright, there's the item I need. We have to go back to town, and then I'm going to brew a potion of life. Water of life, I think is what it's called. With those lively ingredients, I needed to learn the talent of brewing, but I did that as well. Alright, so I got my water of life. We're going to go back to the Deadlands. Unfortunately, there's not a faster way to do this. There's not a better fast travel location. All right, and now we've got a puzzle. There's a puzzle like this in the main game, where you kind of like drop stuff and it affects the environment. This time it's with mushrooms. This is where you kind of start getting the ramping up of the boss difficulty, like I said, in this area especially. Enemy, not boss, sorry. These bosses can also use some status effects. Thankfully, they did not do that. And Bathraz should be able to hopefully finish them off here. Not quite. I'll just let Rob do it here. And now I am a little lost. There we go. I knew there was a reason I had to do that fight next. Yeah, this path is open now, so now I go up and around here. It looks like there's no way you should be able to skip this fight, but you can skip this fight. Alright, and now the way is clear to the boss. It involves getting in the water. Upgrade Bathraz a little bit here, and then into the boss fight. This is an unskippable cutscene, unfortunately. Alright, so Skyarmor battle. We haven't done any Skyarmor fights yet, but it is pretty straightforward. And also, because of that talent I learned, I only have Gear 1 and Gear 2, which means that I don't have to do like a major cooldown between like charging, for example. With Glenn here, I can do all that in Gear 1 and then just switch back without being penalized. I'm going to regularly use Enact Salvo, at least for the first few rounds with Sienna, because it will, for the first 2 times, it will proc every other round, which is very good. I did that wrong. I should have done something different there, but that's okay. A little extra damage on. Should be almost dead. Could have done another defensive break with Victor before. That was really good. This should kill. Okay. I keep changing my splits around in this part, so I'm not 100% sure like what the real splits should be. Because you can do the Deadlands and the Wastelands in either order, and I kind of keep doing them that way, so. Alright, so we're done with the Deadlands. Now we're going to go do the Wastelands, which are a little different. There's also a fight here that I can actually skip that I haven't been skipping, so make sure I do that this time. Got a really bad turn order here. Yeah, don't bother charging with Glenn there. Oh, nope, go north of the tree. I learned this last time, because there's a fight down there that you get into otherwise. That is the new blacksmith announcing his presence. Alright, now this fight you can actually skip, which I was not doing before. Definitely faster than actually doing it. I think you can actually skip it in the Skyarmor too. Alright, and now we've got the Buckle Crocs. It's just kind of fun to say, Buckle Croc. Alright, no problem there. Oh, and just get back in your Skyarmor. I always like to run more north here, but actually just get in the Skyarmor and fly up to the next screen. Alright, kind of a similar situation here. Alright, good fight there. Get back in my sky armor, and we're off to the next boss. Alright, there's another unskippable cutscene here. Don't hurt Cress. And then this boss, when I did this run, when I played casually, was a little bit of a handful. And then I realized just ignore his two friends, and it makes it really easy. So that's what we'll be doing. For Sariel. And that was the wrong character. Okay, well, this will be interesting. Did the wrong directional input, I guess, and now I'm going to have to deal with him for an extra turn. Which, not the end of the world. It'll be fine. Nice crit, Sienna. No crits on the bosses today. Very unlucky. I should probably heal just to be safe next time Victor gets a turn here. It's raining drones. That healing ability is not very great. But, yeah, it was not too bad. He's kind of a pushover. But, like, if you get a crit with Glenn, you can end that fight super fast. Seems like a good split. That's a lot of SP, by the way, too. All right, and we're actually able to go to the final dungeon now. After these cutscenes. All right, I'm gonna do a couple things here. Oh, I'm 1 point short. Okay. Well, we'll level Robb up for now. And then I just want to make sure Robb has everything leveled up that I want. And same with Bathraz. That's kind of like my point of no return message, which is fine. All right, and now we are in the mana machine. These crystals do some pretty nasty damage, so need to make sure I end these fights ASAP. Got a very strange turn order here. Good violent charge there. We like that. That one hurts. I need to be careful here. That would not be the worst level up. A little nervous. We got through it, though. That fight's a little scary. Okay. Here's another kind of like environmental puzzle where I need to get my sky armor unlocked. And that is actually the last, hopefully, non-boss fight I have to do. Because there's this whole area where it's like, you can spend time running around to power down Endart, but then you can also just run up and fight him and hope he doesn't do his nasty attack, which is what we're going to do. I wonder if that's the best time to get the poison on him, actually. Unsure. Oh, that was a mistake. That's fine. This cost me a little damage. That was actually my fault for messing up the thing last turn. Hey, nice crit. There we go. Pure Terror is... Okay, he actually did that to everybody, so that means I am in the he's almost dead zone. So I just need to be really careful with these turns that I do everything correctly. I am charged, so good. Yep, that was because of the crit. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, he has a low percentage chance of doing a really nasty attack, and he didn't do it, so good stuff. All right, whoops. I want to go to talents and level up Bathraz. That should be it. So now we're going to do the last couple fights of the DLC here. We've got 2 refights. Very important for these fights. These are both beasts, beast-type enemies, so Robb is going to do extra damage to them. He's already heavy, so let's start ramping up here. We're going to hit him with a big Bathraz Ultra, and then also, yeah, just like, we want Robb to do lots of damage that way. This guy does a lot more damage than most of the stuff we've been fighting so far, so... let's draw Iron one more time. And then here's where Glenn comes in handy to really control the overdrive meter. Otherwise, I would be taking a lot of excess damage that I didn't need to, and that is bad. I'm going to end up in the overheat here, which is not ideal for one attack, so... We're going to do some good damage there. Mazurka is always a good dump. I should have done a Profundo there, actually, though. I'm just going to go for the kill here. I think he's almost dead. And I was right. Alright, so there is mini-boss fight number 1. I call them refights because they're like dark versions of enemies that you fight early on in the base game. And then this guy is kind of a jerk. He uses Doom, which is pretty rough, depending on who it hits. So Victor is good because Victor resists Doom. Bathraz is actually funny because I kind of don't care if Bathraz dies as long as he dies when I want him to. So that means I'm going to just go... Oh, actually... one turn. So that means... Alright, I'm just going to do Heaven or Hell and then his Ultra. Won't do as much damage as it would otherwise, but it's a good use of my turn order considering the Doom, so... And he doomed Victor again, which is funny. Okay, Robb is a little annoying, but I actually have a really good way of taking care of Robb. Alright, Bathraz is dead. Actually, let's just do this now so I don't have to waste Robb's turn. This will get rid of the Doom. Get Bathraz back up here. That was really bad timing on the Ice Age. But we did survive. This should do it, hopefully. Yep, alright. Just gotta take that guy down in chunks. Alright, so that is both of those, and now we're going to go into the final fight. Lots of really cool things happen during the cutscenes in this final fight that we will not be seeing, but that's okay. Alright, so this opening phase, we can't touch it, we can't buff ourselves and have it carry over, so we're just going to spam attack as quickly as possible. So interestingly, this is a machine. So Bathraz has Machine Killer equipped, so he is actually going to deal more damage to this thing. once the fight starts. All right, there we go. That's actually... I just realized there's something interesting that happens with the turn order in this fight, where it's like sometimes you won't get the debuffs in the correct order, and then these things will just spawn. Alright, healing him now. Okay, I definitely thought Victor was going to get killed there. Yeah, I think... Oh, that's unfortunate. I do want to take care of them, though. Oh, that was actually really annoying. All right. All right. All of my TP is now gone. I have to use items to heal it up in time. Also nice, I can bring in Glenn, and Glenn has TP. Let's get Victor next. That's fine. Now he's turning into a big nasty bug. I need to kind of like get my bearings here as far as where I'm at. I think the best thing I can do here is Profundo, break, and draw iron. All right. Him is about to wear off, so let's do that. Now I need to really focus on controlling my meter. Because, yeah, he's going to do Ultima, which is just nasty. Dang it, Eggle. This might be really bad. Oh, we're all not dead. Good. Actually, don't care if Bathraz dies after this. Good damage there. That's it. That is the run. Okay, so we got a 54 that time. Whew. All right, that's feeling good for like a 1 hour run. Nice. Okay, I'm feeling really good about that run now. Obviously, a little bit of execution here and there, but I think I've got the general gist of it, which is just really exciting this early on. So, yeah, I think this run is in really good shape. I think that actually, I really liked that commentary too, so might be nice to do a few more, but yeah, good stuff. Thanks, everybody. I'll probably, over the course of this weekend, try to get the board set up for this too, because I wanted to give it a little bit of time. As far as I know, nobody's running it yet but me, but that went really well, so